Welcome everybody to this dialogue seminar on the topic of lake ice information in your pockets. This seminar is part of the Arctic Passion seminar and dialogue series. And maybe you're a little bit confused about the format right now, but you're completely at the right spot here. We have some topics where we really like to create more interaction with our audience, and we would like to open up for more interactive dialogue with you. Today we'll get to know more about a newly developed lake ice service. We'll hear about what it is, why it is important, and how we can use it, for whom it is, and what the current developments are. And later on, we'll discuss together about the lake ice service, and all kinds of feedback from also your side are very welcome. My name is Lisa Grosfeld, and I'm project officer at the APEX project office, which is currently located at the Alfred Wegener Institute in Germany. APEX is the Association of Polar Early Career Scientists, and yeah, maybe you have heard of it or you're a member yourself. So special welcome to you as well. APEX is responsible for the education and training activities in the Arctic Passion project. And with me today is my colleague Uda Mühlelied from the Gret Arendal, and she's also strongly involved in the Arctic Passion project, responsible for the whole project communication, and she'll monitor your questions and the chat today. And I especially welcome the two speakers of today, Kirsikka Heinilä and Timo Pyhälahti, who are also both part of the Arctic Passion project. Just some technical housekeeping rules before we get started. Please note that the webinar is being recorded, and the recording will later be uploaded on the APEX Vimeo channel and the Arctic Passion YouTube channel. If you have any questions to the speakers during the talk or at the end, you can always post them in the chat. Uda will monitor them and bring them up again after the two presentations. But if you want to raise your voice directly, you can do that as well after Timo's talk, and you can just turn on your video and microphone, and we can have an open interactive dialogue with you. Just as a background about the Arctic Passion project, for those who are not really familiar with it yet. The Arctic Passion project is an EU project going 4 years, started last year, and it aims at the co-creation of knowledge, and we want to create a coherent integrated observing system in the Arctic to monitor environmental changes there. And the focus really of the project is lying on the co-creation with the local and indigenous communities, stakeholders, and we aim that our developed services are suitable for Arctic citizens. And one of these services is the Lake Ice Information Service that we'll talk about it today. And now I'd say enough from my side. Let's get started. I'd like to pass the word to Kirsikka. She is a senior research scientist at Kirsikka, the Finnish Environmental Institute, and she focuses on optical remote sensing of lake ice and snow cover. And she'll give an overview about the lake ice service. She's one of the leads of this development. And please, Kirsikka, tell us a little bit more about your service and what you're working on.
Thanks, Lisa. So my name is Kirsikka Heinilä. I'm working in Finnish Environment Institute as a senior research scientist. My main research topic is optical remote sensing of lake ice and snow. And now I will present you lake ice service for Arctic climate and safety. First of all, I want to show this NASA's mosaic from January 2004, which illustrates quite well how large areas are covered by seasonal snow cover and lake ice in Northern Hemisphere. Information on lake ice is important for many reasons. It affects Earth energy balance and local weather by hampering energy exchange between water and atmosphere. It affects water quality, limnological and biological processes within lakes. It's also important for safety issues and transportation. Sometimes it shortens distances, even thousands of kilometers. And for example, in Finland, we have thousands of summer cottages and houses in islands. Lake ice is also sensitive climate change indicator, and several climate models have predicted notable effects of climate change on lake ice. Already, number of extremely early breakups and late freeze-ups has increased. And under the Arctic Passion project, we have developed lake ice service. The main idea is to collect lake ice information from multiple sources and visualize the information in a format that is easy to access and understand. The data consists of Earth observation data, like Copernicus lake ice extent products and high-resolution true color images, as well as in-situ data, like community-based observations and official lake ice observation. And the data is useful for scientists, civil society, policymakers, industry, and general public. Lake ice service is integrated to public Tarkka Plus service. It's an upgraded version of Tarkka, which some of you may already know. Tarkka Plus is open layer web service, which is compatible with all modern web browsers. And the lake ice service has its own team there. Lake ice service is now under the development state, so users may propose information to be included with the service and also to visualization. Here is the web address of the lake ice service, and here is how screenshot how the service looks like. So basically, you can add data and then data sources that you would like to see and zoom the place where you would like to have more information about lake ice. In lake ice service is already high resolution and medium resolution observation data. In medium resolution products, there is daily near real-time lake ice extent for Northern Europe, which is a Copernicus Global Land service product and based 250 meter resolution MODIS data. There is also another Copernicus Global Land Service product, which is a daily near real-time lake ice extent for Northern Hemisphere. It's based on 500 meter resolution Sentinel-3 SLSTR data. And Syke is the lake ice extent service provider in Copernicus Global Land Service. So if you have any questions about the product, just please ask or contact us at Syke. And then there is also daily near real-time Sentinel-3 all-sim true color images. In the case of high-resolution products, there is a Sentinel-2 MSI and Landsat 8 OLI true color images. Temporal resolution of these high-resolution data is a few times per week, depending on latitude. Later, there will be also a river and lake ice extent product covering pan-European region. It's also Copernicus product and based on 20 meter resolution Sentinel-2 MSI and Sentinel-1 SAR data. We have noticed that sometimes it's underestimate lake ice cover a bit more than these medium resolution products, and we consider to use confidence level, which is also included to the river and lake ice extent product, and only take high quality data. But at the moment, it's not convenient yet. Like, for example, in this case, you can see that the left side of the page is ice covered, but the river and lake ice extent product that doesn't detect it, and still it's high quality data. So at the moment, there is still medium resolution products as well as high resolution true color images, which gives quite good visual overview of the ice conditions. Then there will be included in-situ data. Here is on the right side of the slide is example how the data could look like. We will have citizen observations. We have already a Järviviki and SITOPS database to collect and store citizen observations. And we just need some further development to match with the needs of people living in the Arctic environments, also translation to different local languages, as well as systems that works with limited internet connections. Then we will include official in-situ ice phenology observation. The SYKES data will be there soon. We have 50 sites observing freezing and breakups daily basis, and 46 sites measuring ice thickness and snow and ice thickness 3 times per month. And we have created this lake ice service to combine data for different resolution, because that's essential. Basically, we don't have yet a perfect data source and to give us lake ice information, and different sources serve different purposes. Here is an example from Lake Nuasjärvi, where this red dot on here represent observation that the whole horizon is ice-free. But as we can see, it's quite narrow part of the lake, and the view isn't very large. So we get better overview looking this satellite data. But when we look this lake ice extent northern hemisphere product, we see that we don't have any data on that part of the lake. Also, Earth observation is basically only effective means to monitor large areas of Earth like daily basis, but because of cloud cover and polar darkness, we don't get data every day, and in-situ observations are, for that reason, also very important. And also, what is the situation now is that high spatial resolution goes often hand in hand with the low temporal or lower temporal resolution. And with these daily products, we don't get information on small water bodies. We will include statistical ice information of lakes also to the service. And next step is to build processing pipeline to calculate daily statistics for individual lakes. We will use lake ice extent northern hemisphere product on that, and the number of lakes will be gradually increased. And to sum up what is currently available, lake ice service is already integrated to eo-tarkka Plus. We have their Earth observation data, like Northern Europe and Northern Hemisphere lake ice extent products. We have also high and medium resolution true color images. We have a tool to find information on certain lakes by defining the lake name. It's actually added to eo-tarkka at the moment, but it will be soon also in eo-tarkka Plus. We have a platform for connecting Earth observation and citizen observation data. We have a language independent Gather data system, which gets for displaying observation submission questionnaires on web applications and demonstration questionnaires in eo-tarkka to submit citizen observation features from Earth observation data. But Timo Pyhälahti will talk much more about these things in next presentation. But next steps are that we need feedback on user requirements on gathered data and the observation activities in general. We have to fine-tune questions, options, and instructions. We have to translate observation questionnaires and better language support for user interfaces. We also need more convenient citizen observation user interface technology, which works with limited web access. Then we need modified visualization. I'm sorry. Just in last minute, my presentation is at the end almost. So here is any interested user requirements specifiers. We are more than happy to receive those. Thank you. Now is Timo's turn.
Yes. Thank you, Kirsikka. Perhaps I will start sharing immediately on my part on crowdsourcing. And so you now see my screen, right? Great. About crowdsourcing, it means that there will be people who are able to participate in gathering data, sourcing from the crowd. And this means observations, but this can also mean a bunch of other things. I will come back to that later, but first I will start with something surprising, a summary image to highlight one of the aspects of working with the citizens. Now you see a screenshot of our eo-tarkka system, which is for displaying satellite images around Finland and the Baltic Sea and the products that we produce in Syke, etc., etc. This is the old version. Kirsikka was talking about the next generation version, and perhaps we can have a quick view on that later. But as a contrary to other similar services, we have this kind of a button for submitting reports or highlighting features in these satellite images. And these cover all topics of the environment, because the citizens are not there just for the snow or for the ice or for the water quality or whatnot. So, and also this service is for very many different purposes. So we also have this ice crowdsourcing available as one of these questionnaires that are available for pinpointing a satellite image there somewhere. And the idea is that we gather structured data of these things. This means that we actually ask multiple choice questions and allow people to submit information by just clicking, so to be clear, and as little text as possible, and to make sure that we try to make sure what kind of information we are gathering. And for this view, as you see, there's this kind of pointer visible in the satellite image to highlight the area on which the interesting stuff is going on. And then we have the questionnaires, which will have texts and explanations and so on how this will actually should be interpreted if I select one of these items. Kirsikka already mentioned that there will be better systems for doing this with the user interface of the service. That means that the people can use it more easily and to have the information available when they want and as they want. And then there is a couple of things that we actually ask when people are actually submitting these images. There's there in the middle you can see that we are asking if you know if you are on the location and if you have information on the site where you are actually there, and please write the text about that. It is also possible to send data about it. I will show that later. And then there is this other perhaps confusing question that do you see this one on the satellite image? Because in these northern areas, there's very often clouds. So in some cases, when there's something really interesting going on, it also might be interesting to mark the cloudy images that are available. That okay, there's an image, but you cannot use it in this part of the lake, for example. And what we get is the information and a link to the satellite image view on Tarkka you just saw, so that these descriptions are available with different metadata. That means that there is possibilities to connect these things, for example, to a campaign of observing a certain lake or a campaign in a certain country to do certain things. And this might actually influence the instructions that the people are given to observe. And we are using the same technology to ask the people of the environment in a crowdsourced manner, also in services like Järviviki. It is a citizen science platform for lakes, rivers, seas, etc. in Finland. And in there, you can actually also submit observations. And the trick is that these questions will be the same, whether they are coming from, say, Järviviki, this vesi.fi, which is a system for giving alerts and providing model information and forecast information of the water quality and water levels and so on in Finland. So the same questions could be asked from the citizens in all of these services, so that we get always the same list of possible answers. That is very important to actually use the data from the different sources in the same place and in the as a common data set, so to say. And what we have is also a system for showing people, especially those ones who are developing software, what are the properties of the different questionnaires. So we have what we call a widget. It is something that you can put on the web page. And if you have this code on the web page, it will actually show you this map questionnaire of what can you actually observe in this location. And again, these questions are same as in the different services for the same type of questionnaire. I will not go into the technical details, but there's something that you need to know about this language independence. Each question has a code, and all of these things are coded as numbers. So first option is number 1, second option is number 2. Then there's a different method for collecting multiple choice questions. And we are able to edit and publish new sets of questionnaires from Syke. And this is, by the way, all open source and open information. So typically, we are gathering just open data from this service, and all these question sets are openly available to anybody who is interested in developing these things. We are very keen on contracting people, typically free of charge, for submitting this kind of information to us. So they will need actually have certain technical arrangements, but this is very straightforward. And what actually happens is that we can also not just ask about water quality or ice cover or whatnot. The topics are ranging from litter on the beaches to ice cover and such things. But we are also able to pinpoint locations that, okay, here is a location which I will give a name, and then I would like to have observations on that site. And there is actually a system for calculating points based on those very straightforward mathematical rules of calculating the point scores. So basically, this means that if somebody wants to arrange games, for example, in which people are awarded by importance of their observation or such things, that can be arranged in a more reasonable fashion than just, giving 1 point for one observation, and then somebody would go there in the shore of Helsinki and submit an observation once a minute and get a lot of points. That's not what we want. So we have arranged these kind of systems too. And there is also a system for this kind of monitoring interest. So basically, we have a system for the organizers of the observing things to actually state what they want and ask people for observations at those areas which are highlighted here in these circles in the map. And these symbols will actually change color if the importance of getting the observations gets higher and higher. It's possible to put this in S like points or percentage like P. But perhaps the most practical issue for the citizen observers is that they would like to use also the ice information for their own good. There's very few people who are really interested in submitting match-up data for the satellites. That's possible, but very often people would like just to, inform people that there's open water already in here. Don't come this way with the snow mobile. It's not accessible and so on. So because we are creating open data, these observations will be available immediately for the observers. And what we have done is to actually set up questionnaires which are similar to those ones that we are collecting from the satellite image, but which are intended to be done on ground. And this is a draft of the so-called PWA application, which means that people will actually get this questionnaire not on a web page that needs constant internet connection, but it's on a available in the mobile phones, etc., for submitting stuff later. I will show you shared with these slides and examples, but I will go and show you some actual systems that we have up and running. First of all, sorry about the Finnish language, the web page, because this is actually the web page through which we are gathering currently the full information of ice information and associated snow information on the locations. As you understand, typically one sees from the satellites the both things, and thus these questionnaires are also gathering also the snow information, which is of course also important for technical issues for detecting ice on the satellite images. And the trick with this one is that you actually can either get a sticker like this one to stick on your snowmobile, or what is your means of travel in the wilderness, and then you can actually get directed directly to this page, or you can basically also download this QR code from here. You might be interested in the technology in that. But as you see, the questionnaire is rather long, lengthy. So very many people would prefer to do a much shorter explanations and so on. So this is the basic widget for getting the data to us, and it is actually immediately showing the different instructions in here. But what we have upcoming is this new service in which we are able to select a subset of these different questionnaires to be displayed, and then we can actually use this one to actually put and tag the observation to this location of this X, and select the nice and short list of observations from here. And when you add the data, you can actually submit the stuff and have it this done in a much easier format. We are still working on the outlines because it's obvious that we will need to have some of the instructions in here, and also this legal stuff needs to be displayed for the people. But the trick actually is to find the best set of questions for the people, because okay, this is one option, but this is not very descriptive of what is actually happening there. There might be people who would be interested in submitting more of these options and selecting a few and not just the most important ones, and perhaps some of the phenomena that are going there as a special things. For example, ice roads, if they still exist, or cracks or channels across the ice, which are very important for traveling in the area. And I will briefly highlight you that we have this Tarkka system and the old Tarkka, and the questionnaires are actually available in here, and you can select the observation for ice in the last one. The important one is to actually update the link for the area which we see here. So you must click this red button in here. So now you would actually refer to this area in which one would be showing this data. And when one submits these things, there will be information available for all of the systems that are using the data, including the link for the satellite image, then which you can actually then go and look yourself, and perhaps give more comments by yourself. And the important thing also is that there is under development systems for these kind of places where people are requested to submit additional observations. And if you are manager of the system, you get a bit of a different user interface for these things, and then you can, for example, state that okay, here you would get this kind of a score if you would submit the observations, and you can actually then for example choose a different time to see what the interest status is at certain times. So this system in development, I hope that you have a lot of questions, and I hope that you could be interested in joining us either by organizing on location these observations, because the observers themselves can also set up these locations in which monitoring will take place. This is not something that is directed by us. And if you are systems developer or software developer, or you know some, we would be interested in working with you for developing these better interfaces for using the data and also submitting the observations. Thank you from my side. I wonder if there's immediate questions from the audience.
We have a question here from Michael. If you want to say it to the group.
I would just be interested in the further plans for the program. I didn't get quite accurately, but that may have been me. What are the plans regarding the languages? So first of all, the translation of the Finnish websites into English, and then other languages, local languages. And then the question would be about the plans to extend the service to beyond Finnish borders. And by the way, thank you very much for this very interesting set of talks.
Yes, Thank you. I think some of these questions were directed to me, so I will start. Currently, there's an issue with the languages because we noted that if you are gathering data in a different countries, you might want to include some, for example, instructions in here for contacting certain authorities or certain people in your own country and so on. So this is also a matter of developing the user interface. And it is possible to use this API, that is the interface through which the machine readable interface, which is actually publishing this thing. It is possible to put it in different languages directly, and it is also possible to write the setup code for the different languages by oneself. So editing these computer readable forms is quite tricky, and we are thinking of developing a better set of assistant programs, so to say, to actually translate from one language to another, but that is not yet done. And then we have the English version of Tarkka in the currently available Tarkka system, but we are also publishing the new Tarkka version for showing, for example, the different lake ice products in the current and forms and so on. So and with all the options and search functionalities. So that Tarkka Plus, as we call it, will also include these features for submitting the data, and they will be more like hard-coded. If you see that, if you look at the questionnaire in here, it is something which resembles this long and detailed stuff that we actually have from the widget. So basically, it's just a widget put on the map. But what is intended to be done with the Tarkka Plus is that it is more integrated to the system itself. So it's less an add-on and more like part of the Tarkka Plus system itself. I hope I was not too detailed.
Well, I didn't understand every detail, but I think I got the general direction. But I was wondering about other languages like Sami, and if there is an extension planned beyond borders into other local languages like Norwegian or Swedish, or if it's planned to use the service also beyond in other local languages.
Yeah.
I could show you now just quickly the Tarkka Plus, because we haven't done that yet. And basically, we are developing lake ice service now to this Tarkka Plus system. And here isn't yet everything. So basically, we want to put in this service now like more things that are already like in the Finnish versions, and that's why we first want to create, for example, this what Timo showed previously, and then when we have fine-tuned questions and so on, then we are ready to translate these questions. So basically, that's we don't have any time limitation for that. We are able to do that as fast as possible, but basically we want to be first sure that those are already like thought that they are good ones to say. And Tarkka Plus, you can see already here Europe, and later we will include their areas that are interested. So basically, it's possible to include also areas outside Europe there, and we will include, for example, from Canada.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kirsikka and Timo.
Yes, so basically there's no limitation in the languages that we could translate into, but the first thing is to get and select and have experience of the best sort of questionnaires that we would like to ask people. So what is the content of the thing that should be asked in any language, and then we will go to the particular languages. And then there's also this activity that these kind of stickers are already out there. So people are for the next winter requested to contribute and comment. This also includes the possibility to comment the current snow information that we have available. Now, this is not something that we are going to be doing in a very organized, manner, that we would ask people specifically to comment on the quality of the satellite data, because the Tarkka Plus is not yet officially published and online, as Kirsikka already explained. But it is possible to comment what you see on the satellite images and what you think you see in the true color images, and what do you feel about the quality and content of the thematic maps, for example, this Like Ice product as it currently is. Would you want to comment that one, Kirsikka, or if there is a comments from Hanna Alasalmi, who is the developer of the Tarkka Plus, on any further details?
For my side, you explained it well. So if someone else has questions, just please ask.
Hey, hi, I can say something about the language in Tarkka. So it's Tarkka Plus. It's quite easily to transfer some other languages, but we are still in hard development phase. So we haven't concentrated on that yet. So there's Finnish and English in Tarkka Plus interface, but there has been discussion about Swedish also.
We also have another question here. Will the possibility to collect and view crowdsourced lake ice data be added to Tarkka Plus?
So this was my question, and I think Timo already answered it. So yes, it is. If I understood correctly, so it is planned that the crowdsourced data will be integrated also to this new Tarkka Plus service.
Yes, that's the idea, that there will be also included these observations.
Is there any other questions? You can please raise your hand and say them out to Timo and Kirsikka.
Or do you, Kirsikka and Timo, have any questions to the audience, maybe?
Yes, I was just curious to find out if there is already people out there who are creating this kind of crowdsourcing activities on location. We know ourselves, and then there's a couple of university people in Finland too, but I was wondering if there's new people who we have not met yet in the Nordic countries and in the vicinity. And of course, the things that are happening in Canada, USA, etc., might be, well, they are I'm less familiar with those people. So if there's new people who would like to announce themselves, I would be interested in contacting you. It would be possible to organize all sorts of games and all sorts of community activities, not just on the ice issues, but also another environment-related things and so on. I have been thinking, because of the score system in the monitoring interest. It would be possible to, give awards to the most active communities. If wanted, one could award the most active citizens, but I think it would be making much more sense to actually see what the community as a group could do themselves, because it is not the intention to have somebody to spend their whole time trying to win some game. It's something that is actually intended to be done on the side of your other activities, aside of your work and your other hobbies and so on, and as information you could submit as something you do on the side of your things. So I was wondering if there's people who are interested in developing these kind of games activities.
While people can just think if they are already engaged in such activities. I was wondering, you talked about a tool or a website where people already submit observations which they experience by the Järvi wiki. Do you already receive some submissions that you include, or is it a tool?
Yeah. Yes. So over the last 3 or 4 years, we have received about 4,000 different ice information pieces. There's information about snow. The most active is actually about algae blooms and water quality things. That's not the topic for today, but it is our experience that the people who are active on these kind of things could be active throughout the year. And there would be, I showed the other platform. There's actually a difference in between these things in Järvi-wiki and the vesi.fi, which the water.fi actually is for more like an official announcements and warnings and such stuff. And this would have something different of an audience than those ones who are interested in gathering information of the lakes and of the rivers for general interest in science and in nature. There's about 10,000 annual observations. It a bit varies in different years on the algae blooms, and there's some less for the snow and ice things. They are in the hundreds and in thousands, and this is why we are also interested in these games, to get more observations and more steady flow of the good quality observations, because these things are of course interest to people locally. For example, when is the ice breaking up, when it's still safe to cross the river or cross the lake and take a shortcut which saves you tens of kilometers.
Yes, I agree. That would be really helpful to know for daily lives there. Yeah. No, as Kirsikka also mentioned, that is really relevant for many different target groups. As a private person having a cottage out close to a lake, or if it's a more broader approach, working at on a community level or municipality. Did you actually select the lakes by a different categorization, or would you include every lake that is possible, or does it has to be maybe a specific size?
For the citizen observations, it's the interest of the citizens which comes first. So people are able to submit these observations anywhere. And by anywhere, I mean anywhere in the globe. There's no limitations of that sort either in the system. So it is possible to include already global data on those things. For the selected observation sites, there's a system for setting them up in Järviviki for those ones who are most active, and we have not imported them as a test places for the monitoring interest because it's something that is still under development. What we want to improve is the ability of people to set up their own locations for monitoring. So people could select the places where they want to monitor, what they want to monitor, and what would trigger the monitoring. For example, it's possible to trigger interest in monitoring if there's a satellite image highlighted phenomenon or of a certain type in this area. So that would mean that the system would actually put you a red dot for the observations on site too. This is of course very preliminary, and there would be possibilities for other systems to send SMS or emails or social media messages or whatnot if somebody wanted to integrate with the machine readable interfaces we provide. But now it's actually the question if there's interested parties out there to work on those kind of things.
And I could say here also that in case of Earth observation data, of course, the spatial resolution affects what lakes are included, but basically our products include everything that covers this specific spatial resolution. But we will add there also statistical information, and then we will select lakes. Mostly it's sites dependent, so we don't want to calculate statistics for a lake where it's like only 2 pixels or only like few ones. And if someone has suggestions which lakes they are interested in, just contact me or say here or anything. We really appreciate that, and also what kind of statistical information related to lake ice you would like to know. We are more than happy to provide the data if we just are able to do that.
So you're happy about receiving some feedbacks once from
yes, of course,
target audiences, what they wish for your service, but also for data providers who could support your new service and filling new data into the tool. And maybe you can provide your contact addresses again in the chat so people can also reach you after this seminar.
Yeah, I would like to point out that there is in this English-speaking Tarkka, there is also this place in which you can actually try to submit emails on what you have actually seen. I mean, if there's problems or errors in data, or you would like to contact directly, there is actually a service. This havaitsemaan means in Finnish, let's well, difficult to translate. Let's come together to observe, and this is a service address for the people who are looking after the data and finding out what people request of it and ask for it. So this is one of very straightforward ways of providing feedback on the data if you don't want to fill in the questionnaires.
Yeah, that's good. Maybe as some closing words to this seminar, maybe you can point out your next steps again. Kirsikka, you raised it already a little bit in your presentation, but how would you like to proceed in the next month with the development of the lake ice service?
So basically, we appreciate a lot if we get some information that what kind of questionnaires or data is important for you, and we will add there. In any case, there will be this official in-situ data, and then we will add there also citizens' observations soon, and we are starting to build this processing pipeline to calculate statistics for these individual lakes. So those are the next steps, and when we have a few basic questionnaires ready, we will add them to the Tarkka Plus Lake Ice service as well, and then we will translate it to other language as well. For example, in those 3 different Sami languages.
From my side, I would actually point out that we are working on the better applications to be used on the location, and we are looking forward to the March to April and May season of snow melt and so on, so that we can actually gather information and of the ice melt too, so that when there is the critical points of security and trafficability of the terrain, etc., actually arise. So this high season, we would like to connect to the different local communities in Finland to get initial feedback on our current services, to develop better ones, and then to be ready for the expansion to different language issues, so that we could be working with those ones more efficiently. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, if there are no more questions right now, again, I think Kirsikka and Timo are happy to be contacted after the seminar. We'll upload this seminar and can put your emails addressed also to the recording. And yeah, thank you for all the insights on your developing tool, and thank you for your interest in the tool. And if you're want to be informed more about it, contact us, or just stay tuned for the next developments. And then I'd like to wish you a good continuation of the day all together. And yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good luck, guys and ladies. Bye-bye.